You? Hey guys. Oh, let's get over here. Whew. I spent so much time of my childhood in the woods, climbing over under logs. The other day we were at my parents' house and my girls wanted to go hiking like we used to do when we were young. So of course, we took them on all our old trails. And I had my daughter stay with me because I was so nervous that she was gonna trip over a log or a stick, get stuck in the pricker bush. There's rocks everywhere. I was afraid she was gonna trip and fall. So I made her stay with me, and she was not happy about that. She wanted to go off. She wanted to make a path on her own. And after a while of arguing with her, I said, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead on your own. Go a little up. And so she did. And it was not long before she tripped, fell, had a couple scrapes on her ankles or shins. She tripped over a few rocks. So we were walking a ways, and when we decided that we'd gone far enough, it was time to turn around, she looked at me and she goes, "Mom, will you just help me on the way back?" I was like, "Yes, absolutely." So as we made our way back, I was able to hold over some branches and point out, don't step on those rocks, those are gonna wobble. Watch out for these pricker bushes. This is how you get through them without getting too many on you or in your hair, because those were a nightmare. So we made our way through. We were able to have some laughs. I shared some stories of when I was growing up and, how I had to find out the hard way which rocks were stable and which ones weren't. And overall, we just had a much more easier go of it. When I got home, I was kind of reflecting over the day and what had happened, and I think God was trying to show me that our little walk through the woods was a lot like our walk through life, and how God lets us choose our own path. He lets us stumble and fall, because sometimes that's what it takes to understand and appreciate the help that God can give us. He gives us a trail guide, if you will, in the Bible, and he helps us understand what difficulties we might come across, different things that are going to trip us up, things that can give cuts or scrapes or lasting scars. He helps us through those things, how to avoid them, how to look out for them, how to be able to identify them. So being able to help us through that is something that God wants. That's something God desires. And it's not going to be the same if he forces us to do that. If he makes us stay with him, we're going to be resentful. We're going to be rebellious. So I think that's why God kind of lets us figure it out on our own for a while. And then we come to him when we're ready. And he's there, ready and willing to help us, walk us through. Overall, when God waits for us to come to him, it just makes for a much more enjoyable experience for him, for us. So it kind of answered a few things in my mind that I've always wondered about, like, why do you wait for us? Why don't you just send a big pillar of fire today and show us, this is who I am, this is where to go, and this is what to avoid? I think we have to stumble a little bit on our own first, and understand that we can't do it on our own. We can't forge that path on our own. At the end of the day, I was so happy just to know that my little girl was able to come up to me on her own and ask for help. It made everything much more enjoyable. We were miserable at first. Neither one of us wanted to be there. And when you think about forced relationships, that's not an abundant life. That's not a life fulfilled like God promises us in the Bible. And believe it or not, God wants to have that close relationship with us. And he's wise enough to know that in order to have that, we need to come to him on our own free will. And so he's there, he's ready, he's waiting for you to choose him on your own. Have a good day, guys.
What she said.